Hi there, all my crafty friends. I'm Donna from Mason Creations, etc., and welcome to my channel. Today's project is a mixed media altered bottle. I'm going to turn an ordinary wine bottle into a work of art. My friend Sharon G. from Connecticut asked for a wine bottle that looked like an Italian countryside. Here you go, Sharon. I hope you love it. And I know you're watching, my dear friend, so if you're ready, let's make a mess. The first thing I'm going to do is wipe the bottle down with alcohol. This removes any dirt or fingerprints. Make sure you don't leave this step out. I'm going to brush on Polyvine's multi-surface lacquer. This is a great primer for any shiny surface, such as glass or ceramic. I'm using the dead flat finish because I want to remove the shine. This will give paint or decoupage glue a great surface to adhere to. Paint won't chip, scratch, or peel. This and all the products you're going to see me use today came from DecoupageNapkins.com, my wonderful sponsors. I let the multi-surface lacquer dry for about an hour. I'm going to paint the entire bottle white. I'm using a sponge because you get better coverage with a sponge, and generally we'll only need to do one coat. The sponge creates a little bit of texture, but for this project I don't mind. I'll be decoupaging a napkin on this bottle, and when decoupaging you need a white background. You can get away with a very light off-white, but just plain white is the best. It will make the colors in your napkin look very vibrant. A dark color behind your napkin will make the images look dark and muddy. If you don't wish to see the captions, you have the ability to turn them off. Tap your screen, go into the settings icon in the top right corner, click on captions, then turn off captions. I'll let the paint dry for about an hour before moving on. This napkin is so pretty, it looks just like an Italian winery. I'm cutting the napkin in half because I'll only need one portion of it. Now I'm separating the layers. Most napkins are 3-ply, and we are only going to use the top ply with the print on it. I'm removing the other 2 layers and discarding them. If you want to see a beginner's video on exactly how to separate and prep a napkin, click the banner in the above right corner. I'll also leave a link to this video in my description box below. I'm using a water brush to remove the part that's too large for the bottle. I also removed the sharp cut edge at the top of the napkin. A torn edge is easier to blend than a sharp cut edge. A water brush has a cartridge that you fill with water and then brush it on the napkin or rice paper. The water dispenses easily, so this is really convenient. You can find this in my description box below, in my favorite tools section, just in case you want to check it out. I'm using Polyvine's Decorator's Varnish as my decoupage adhesive today. You can use this product as a varnish and an adhesive. All the Polyvine formulas can double as a decoupage adhesive. It works so much better than the most popular brand of decoupage glue. It's not a glue, so it doesn't go on thick and lumpy. It's a varnish, so it dries crystal clear and will never yellow. I'm using the dry method of decoupaging today. I put the napkin on my piece without any adhesive. I'm brushing the adhesive on top of the napkin. I'm starting from the center of the napkin and working my way upward, downward, and to the sides. This method will reduce wrinkles and bubbles. DecoupageNapkins.com has such a great selection of napkins that you can purchase one at a time. They carry many other craft supplies such as rice paper, paint, clay, molds, and a great selection of Polyvine products. Over 8,000 products and growing. They are wonderful to work with and will send your order out fast. They offer several automatic discounts when checking out. Subscribe to their newsletter by entering your email address and you'll receive 10% off your next order. They are truly your one-stop shop for craft supplies. Make sure you check them out. I'll be leaving links for all the products I use in my description box below. I misted a piece of plastic bag with water, and I'm laying it down and rubbing out any wrinkles or bubbles that I see. Make sure you spray the plastic with water first, or it will damage your napkin. I let this dry completely, about 2 hours. I'm going to make some leaves to put on the top of the bottle. I'm using this mold that I've had in my stash for years. I'm not sure where I even got it. But there's a leaf that looks pretty similar to a grape leaf, and it's nice and large. Perfect for this project. I dusted the mold with some cornstarch so the clay would release easily. I'm using DOS clay, and now I'm adding it to the mold. I'm cleaning up the edges a little bit before gluing it to the bottle. This clay is perfect for projects that you'll be gluing the clay on while it's still wet. It has very little shrinkage as it dries. I'm making quite a few of them, and I'm adding them in all different directions and overlapping them so you can't see any of the bottle. Where are you watching from? Let me know in the comments. It's fun to see what cities and countries you are all watching from. I'm filming from Las Vegas, Nevada in the United States. I cut one of the leaves into a couple smaller pieces to put up by the rim of the bottle so everything would fit properly. This is a Prima redesign mold. It has a beautiful vine that I'm going to put at the top and bottom of the bottle. I really like the redesign molds. They have amazing detail, and there's something about the texture of the mold. It seems to release the clay very easily. Adding air dry clay embellishments is a great way to add a lot of interest to your projects. They're really easy to make, and clay is fairly inexpensive. I test all the products that I recommend in my videos. I won't recommend anything that I haven't used myself and prefer. If I'm recommending it, you can bet it's a great product. Each product will be listed in my description box below, and will have a blue link to make it easy for you to find. Any of the links I provide are safe for you to click on. I pinched off some really tiny pieces of clay and rolled them in my hand to make the grapes. And I made quite a few of them. Hey, this is a productive vineyard. I glued them in little clusters hanging by the bottom leaves. I also put a few groupings of 3 here and there on the top around the neck of the bottle. If you're enjoying this video, please let me know by hitting that like button. And why not share this with a friend? Thanks for doing that. If you'd like to be notified anytime I upload a new video, click the bell. I'm going to be painting all the clay on this bottle, and I don't want to accidentally get paint on the surface of the image. I'm varnishing over just the image with a coat of gloss varnish to protect it. Any paint will just wipe off now. I'm using Polyvine's heavy-duty wood varnish. Don't let the name fool you. It can be used on any surface. I'll let that dry for about 30 minutes. Now I'm going to start painting everything. I mixed vintage green with a very dark green to darken it up a little bit. I'm using that color to paint all the leaves. I ended up adding a few additional leaves that hang over the lower grapes. I think it looks a bit more realistic. I got all the larger areas first, and now I'm doubling back and doing all the detail work. I painted the very bottom of the bottle earthy brown, and then dry brushed some dark yellow gold streaking with a stiff brush to give it a wood look. I painted the vines at the bottom of the bottle the same color green that I mixed up for the leaves. I'm going to add some interest to the leaves by sponging on some other watered down colors. There are so many different colors in nature, nothing is ever just one color. I'm using Spanish moss and a Martha Stewart color called citrine gold. But I don't even know if her paints are available any longer. I haven't seen them around in a really long time, and I've had this bottle for quite a while. I absolutely love this color. It's green mixed with a metallic gold. I used vintage green to paint some of the grapes because I'm going to make some of them red grapes. I did the same thing as the leaves. I did all the larger surfaces first and then doubled back with all the detail painting. For the red grapes, I mixed Christmas red with a little bit of dark burgundy. I love the way that color turned out. It's perfect. I'm mixing Christmas red and copper rose, and I'm doing a little bit of dry brushing on top of the red grapes. Using a lighter color over the darker color adds a little bit of translucence. I'm doing the same thing with the green grapes. I'm mixing the vintage green with some yellow and dry brushing that on as well. Then I brushed on just a little bit of the yellow to brighten them up a little bit. And what a difference that made. It makes the grapes look like they're glowing. I painted all the little leaves on the vines Hauser dark green at the bottom of the bottle and around the neck. I'm going to be doing some antiquing, and you need to have a shiny surface for the antiquing to work correctly. I'm painting just the clay embellishments with the heavy-duty wood varnish, and I'll let that dry for about 30 minutes so that I can handle the bottle. I'm going to do a crackle finish on just the images. I'm using Pentart's Fine Line Crackle Varnish. It's a two-part system, and I'm brushing on component number 1. I'll let that dry for about an hour or so until it's clear. Now that it's dry, I'll brush on component number 2. This step is an amber color. Use thin, even strokes. If you get a buildup or drips anywhere, it'll show when dry. I'll let this dry for a couple of hours. Once dry, you'll see the cracks. I I have some amazing cracks now, and I'm going to add some antiquing so you can see them. I'm using Pentart Antique Paste. It's solvent-based, so it's safe to put over fine line Crackle. I'm rubbing it into all the cracks and then wiping it off with a dry, soft cloth. Make sure you do not use a wet wipe. I'm using a brush to get up under the leaves and into tight spots. I'm antiquing the entire bottle. This adds shadowing and makes all the clay embellishments come to life. It makes them look less flat and appear to lift up off the bottle. I'll let the antiquing dry for several hours before moving on. I'm working on some great projects for the upcoming weeks. Here are a few things in the lineup: an inverted canvas with a bird theme, a ballerina, and some mason jar decorating. You'll want to subscribe so you don't miss any of them. Now that it's dry and I have some beautiful cracks, I'm going to protect it with Pentart's solvent-based varnish in a glossy finish. They are formulated to work together. Other brands of sealer may give you unwanted results, such as additional tiny cracks. Please note that you can only give this one coat of the clear varnish, which is really all you need. It's very shiny and looks like porcelain. Additional layers will crack. I'll let this dry for several hours. Also, please note that you cannot use any water-based varnishes over the fine line Crackle. It will ruin your Crackle finish. I let my varnish dry overnight, and now I'm going to add some metallic wax rubs. I'm using white pearl for the grapes, which really gives them a translucent glow. I'm adding aged brass to the edges of all the leaves and vines. I just love using metallic wax rubs. They really add some beauty to your projects. The best way to clean your brush after using the Pentart varnishes is with good old-fashioned turpentine. I tried other solvent cleaners like paint thinner and mineral spirits, but the only one that cleans your brush well is the turpentine. I put a little in a glass jar and soak my brush overnight, then wash with soap and water the next day. Send me a comment and let me know what type of project you would like to see next. Decoupage, mixed media canvases, or more mason jar decorating. Your suggestion could be my very next video. I answer every single comment I receive. I love hearing from all of you and look forward to reading all your comments. Don't forget, all of the wonderful products I'm using today can be found at my favorite place for craft supplies, decoupagenapkins.com, and I'll leave you links in my description box below. I put together a playlist of some other tutorials you may enjoy. Click the picture on the right to be taken directly to that playlist. I'm so happy you were here with me today, and thanks so much for watching. I can't wait to see you all next week. I'm working on a new project with you in mind. You can subscribe by clicking my picture in the top right corner.